I have often said, and I say it again now with conviction, that the great difference between those who succeed and those who falter is not brilliance, nor genius, nor the favor of chance. It is persistence. Talent alone will not carry a man to his goals. Fortune may smile for a moment, but she quickly tests those who seek her favor. What remains after talent has waned and fortune has passed is the iron will to continue. When I reflect upon my own life, I do not recall moments of dazzling genius that carried me forward. I recall, instead, countless hours of labor, endless setbacks, and discouragements that might have driven me to abandon my course. Yet I would not yield. I held fast, and that stubbornness, more than any spark of brilliance, built my enterprises and secured my fortune. It is a curious truth that most men quit not when they are beaten, but when they are merely tired. They give up at the very threshold of success. They allow one rejection, one failure, one humiliation to convince them that fate is against them. Yet often, if they had but pressed on one step further, they would have found the door opening wide before them. I remember vividly the days when I worked as a telegraph boy, running messages through the streets of Pittsburgh. It was not glamorous labor, nor was it highly paid. Many of my fellows abandoned the work quickly, declaring it thankless and beneath them. But I persisted. I studied the wires, learned the patterns of the clicks, and taught myself to decipher messages by ear. Because I stayed when others fled, I gained knowledge and skill that prepared me for better positions. Persistence turned humble toil into the foundation of an empire. In business, as in life, persistence is the lever that moves the world. There were ventures I began that seemed destined to fail. Steel was not always the king it became. In the early days, many declared it too expensive, too unwieldy, too untested for widespread use. Competitors laughed at the idea of great bridges and buildings fashioned of this new material. I might have agreed with them and turned aside, but I did not. I persisted in the belief that steel would transform industry, that persistence, ridiculed in its day, proved to be wisdom. Do not suppose that persistence means mere stubbornness without reason. To persist blindly in folly is no virtue, but to persist in a worthy aim, to pursue a dream that reason supports though difficulty obstructs, that is the stuff of greatness. You who listen to me now may be in the midst of discouragement. Perhaps you have attempted a new trade, or sought to launch a business, or aspired to improve your station in life, and already you feel the weight of failure pressing upon you. I tell you this, the weight is a sign that you are in the struggle, and the struggle is the birthplace of triumph. Many around you will falter. They will leave the field. If you remain when others have gone, you increase your chances of victory tenfold. Understand that persistence is not measured in days or weeks. It is measured in years, sometimes in decades. The man who plants an orchard must wait long for the fruit. So too must you cultivate your purpose with patience. Let others scoff at your slow progress. You are planting trees that will shade generations. I recall once a meeting with a young man who wished to abandon his studies, for he felt the path too hard and the rewards too distant. I told him that each lesson he mastered, though it seemed small, was a brick laid in the foundation of his future. To abandon persistence was to leave his house half-built, exposed to the winds of fortune. Better to endure the labor, and one day dwell securely in the palace persistence had raised. I say to you, learn to embrace rejection, as proof that you are pressing forward. A salesman who fears a closed door will never open a profitable one. A writer who fears a rejected manuscript will never see his words in print. A laborer who despairs at the first blister will never build the calluses that make him strong. Each denial, each defeat, each difficulty is but a test of your persistence. And here lies a great secret. The world respects persistence. Even your rivals, who may oppose you fiercely, cannot help but admire the one who endures. Persistence creates reputation, and reputation creates opportunity. Men of influence will entrust their fortunes to the one who does not falter. They will say, "Here is a man who finishes what he begins." That confidence is worth more than gold. In truth, most failures in life are not true failures. They are merely unfinished attempts. The man who quits has declared his work a failure, but the man who persists keeps the verdict open. Time itself becomes his ally, for persistence wears down obstacles as water wears down stone. I tell you from experience, persistence makes the impossible inevitable. Dreams that seemed distant will draw nearer with each step you take, so long as you do not halt. Fortune herself grows weary of resisting the man who will not yield. At last she lays her treasures at his feet, not because she favors him, but because he has outlasted all rivals. Therefore, resolve this day that you will not be numbered among those who quit too soon. Let your failures be but stepping stones, your discouragements but lessons, your obstacles but training grounds for endurance. Say to yourself, "I will persist until I succeed," and repeat it until it is engraved upon your soul. If you do this, I promise you, as one who has lived it, that your destiny will be transformed. You will discover strength you did not know you possessed. You will open doors you thought forever closed. And in the end, you will look back upon your journey and see that persistence, more than talent, more than fortune, more than any gift of nature, was the true secret of your success. So let this be your guide. Do not quit. Do not waver. Do not surrender your purpose at the first sign of hardship. Persist, and the world must yield.